And I'm live. That is pretty cool. My Wi-Fi is now fixed finally. Okay. So today is 26th of February 2026, Thursday. And let's begin. Before beginning, a quote from Marcus Aurelius Meditations. Random quote, just like okay, this is a one line quote, not even a complete one line, but okay. This one says, "For the good is with me and the just." Yes, we can think about it. The good is with me and the just. And let's begin. I want to finish up at least the minimum working part of the backend. The project is going slow, but it is also like going fine, I think. It is fine. It is fine. Okay, and now the thing that I do want to check is where is log.md? Ah, shit. Here, test time management. We getting possible moves which are not possible. But I think we did fix this, but okay, something wrong happened with this. Time management. I just want to test time management and we can start working on the front end like today. Like today. We can start working on the front end then. I just want to test time management. We getting possible moves. This was done yesterday. Time management would be today. Yes, we getting possible moves which are not possible because uh, there was no valid move check for pawn moves when generating possible moves. That is good. And I'm getting a call. Wait a minute. Shit. Uh, 1 minute. Let me like. How do I put this on? Yes, do not disturb. Fine. Looks fine. Okay, wait a minute. Like I will be right back in 1 minute. Uh, yep. I will be right back in 1 minute. And cool. I am like right legit here. Cool. Okay, so for today, development, yes. Hash hash date. Uh, what is the date? Today is shit. Okay, I'm getting a call again. This would be like shit. Game not saving on database. That is fixed. Now what I want to fix is special moves. No, just test time management. That is the only thing. Yes, and then we can start working on the front end after checking for time management. And how do we check for time management? That is just start. Wait a minute. Postman. Postman, and somehow Epic Games is open. Okay, wait. That's cool. Concept N. Open new window for Postman. Cool. Both the users are logged in. So we are also logged in. One run back. Start the backend. Backend is working. So what do we have to test? We will test whether we are getting the right time or not. I think instead of using Postman for this, we can write custom tests for checking this. Tests time logic.ts. So shit. Yes. To test this, what do we do? We do not want to make a WebSocket connection, or do we want to make a WebSocket connection? We don't want to make a WebSocket connection here. Update game object in the backend APIs in game start API. So what happens is open data, get open data and everything. And yep, we will have to make a WebSocket connection. Let's see how to make a WebSocket connection from the client side. Hello, didn't sleep all night? Okay, go and sleep for a while. And why are you giving me so much love? Bro, how do I remove the MDN from what is MDN? From a laptop. If you want to check your chess logic, then there are already tests for that. Yo, hello, my friend from IRL. MDN. Wait, why do we have MDN? What do you mean when you say I have MDN and hello? Because why? How is everything? And it is very weird talking to you in English, but hello. And yes, when you come back, I would like to get a party just like because of your internship. Yes, client side library. I think we can use socket.io, or let's use ChatGPT. And yes, talking to ChatGPT is pretty cool. I'm building a front end with React. What should be the best front end WebSocket library that I can use?
Ah, good call. Real-time communication can really bring a front end to life. If you're using React, you've got a few solid options, but the go-to for many is probably Socket.io client. It's really mature, has a great community, and plays nicely with React state management. Another option is the native WebSocket API, which is more low level, flexible, but you might have to handle reconnections yourself. Either way, just keep scalability and reconnection logic in mind, especially if you expect a lot of users.
Cool. So Socket.io it would be. No, wait, I confused. Okay. So Socket.io for the front end. And cool. I would like to like change the title of the stream because this is like setting up front end. Debugging backend, setting up front end. Cool. So Socket.io introduction, get started. Documentation, getting started. Welcome to the Socket.io tutorial. In this tutorial, we will create a basic chat application. It requires almost no basic prior knowledge of Node.js or Socket.io, so it is ideal introduction. Writing a chat application with popular web application stack like LAMP with PHP. I think PHP stack was something else. PHP stacks. There were other PHP stacks. LAMP, WOMP, MEMP. Shit. There was some other PHP stack that I heard of. Larva. I think Larva is Laravel. Laravel. What is Laravel? What is Laravel? Laravel, free and open source PHP web framework. It is a web framework designed for building secure, scalable, and modern applications using the modern view controller MVC architectural pattern. Okay. Writing, okay, like LAMP PHP has normally been very hard. It involves polling the server for changes, keeping track of timestamps, and it is a lot slower than it should be. Sockets have traditionally been the solution around which most real-time chat systems are architectured, providing a bi-directional communication channel between a client and a server. This means that the server can push messages to the client whenever you write a chat message. The idea is that the server will get it and push it to all the connected clients. How to use this tutorial? Okay, I have a question. When I'm not using WhatsApp and WhatsApp is not running, then how do I get a notification from WhatsApp in my phone?
Ah, good question. So even if WhatsApp isn't actively open, your phone's operating system keeps it alive in the background thanks to push notifications. Basically, WhatsApp uses your internet connection, Wi-Fi or mobile data, and a small background service to ping you when a new message comes in. Of course, you do need your notifications enabled, and if you're on Android, you have to allow background activity in your battery settings. So, bit of tech magic, but pretty reliable.
So in the background, WhatsApp has a socket connection to the server, and the server just sends a message that there was a message you have received, and also for calls, the same thing happens. And if that is what happens, then how is it efficient for the server to keep track of millions of web sockets at the same time?
Ah, that's a sharp observation. Yep, you're spot on. WhatsApp relies on a persistent connection to servers, often using something like WebSocket or MQTT protocol. And while it sounds like a ton of work, the magic is that the server doesn't keep a separate connection open for every tiny packet. It uses event-driven architectures. Think of it like a giant switchboard. The server pushes updates only when needed, and it groups or multiplexes connections so it scales. Of course, it still takes a lot of optimization, kind of like a circus juggler keeping a thousand balls in the air, but they manage it by being super efficient.
Okay, so they do not use sockets, but they use something else called event-driven architecture, which is different from sockets.
Exactly. So it's a bit of a nuance. The big picture is that lean on something like a pub sub model, often built on top of a message broker. Think of something like Kafka or MQTT. So it's not just one socket per person, it's a whole system that listens, reacts, and sends messages as events. It's like a digital traffic manager, making sure the right cars or messages get to the right place at the right time.
So Kafka is one thing we can use for establishing a event-driven architecture. And are there other things that Kafka can be used for?
Absolutely. Kafka's like the Swiss Army knife of event streaming. Beyond just notifications, it's used for real time data pipelines, log aggregation, tracking user activity, and even feeding machine learning models. Basically, anytime you need a steady stream of events that you can process and react to, Kafka's your star. It's pretty much the engine behind a lot of modern data architectures.
Okay, that is very enlightening. That is pretty cool. Okay, failed to update conversation, failed to update. Wait, is the stream okay? Yes, internet connection is okay, cool. So Socket.io, how to use this tooling, how to use this tutorial. They have an any text editor, NewVim, the only one, should be sufficient to complete this tutorial. Additionally, at the end of each step, you will find a link to some online platforms. Code Sandbox. I would like to make Code Sandbox. Code Sandbox. I remember someone made Code Sandbox, like a copy of it. But yes, cool. That was cool. Stack Blitz, namely allowing you to run the code directly from your browser. Syntax settings in the node.js. Well, there are two ways to import modules like this. Shit, I do not understand like what is the difference. What I do know is that this is the legacy way, the old way when we do require, and this is the new way, which is like ECMAScript modules, and this was common JS. Okay, so let's install Socket.io. Stop. Uh, add Socket.io. Okay, that is like it for this page. Socket.io maybe. Okay, Socket.io is a thing. They are telling us to install Express and shit. Express. Wait, this is for the back end. I want to know Socket.io for the front end introduction. What Socket.io is? Socket.io is a library that enables low latency bidirectional and event-based communication between a client and a server. Wait, have do I need to have a Socket.io server to use a Socket.io client? I am using on my server side, I am using some other technology, some other library for the WebSockets, but can I use Socket.io on the front end to make that connection?
Ah, good catch. So the Socket IO client and server have their own specific protocol and handshake. If you try to use a Socket IO client, but your server is using a different WebSocket library, like pure WebSocket or another protocol, it won't speak the same language. Socket IO has its own event system on top of WebSockets, so you'd need a matching Socket IO server to handle it. If you prefer your current backend tech, you need a different front-end WebSocket library that works in a more generic way. So yeah, match the tech stack on both ends.
On the backend, I am using Elysia sockets. So what can I use on the front end for the socket client logic?
Ah, nice. So if your backend is using something like Elixir Phoenix channels, which is a super common setup, you can use the official Phoenix JavaScript library called Phoenix.js. It's built specifically for that ecosystem.
Shit. I'm in Elysia JS sockets. Now we are talking precisely if you are using Elysia, then the clean answer is you do not need a socket.io on the front end. In fact, you cannot use the socket.io client unless your backend is running a socket.io server, because socket.io is not just an abstraction. It has its own custom protocol. It has its own handshake packet formats and everything. Okay, the native browser WebSocket. Okay, shit. We will have to use the naked native WebSocket API. Okay, that is fine. Get a new WebSocket using this new WebSocket at this place on open. When the WebSocket opens, do this. On message, when a message is received, do this. When would you use socket.io? Only if your backend is okay. Shit, our backend is not running socket.io, so we cannot use socket.io. You need automatic reconnection logic. Should we will have to handle it on our own because we do not have socket.io. You want rooms, namespaces, fallbacks. You accept the extra abstraction layer, but Elysia plus one is designed to be lightweight and fast. Adding socket.io would defeat that minimalism. Okay. At a scale, think WhatsApp level system. Companies don't use socket.io. Okay, so we are WhatsApp level. We will not use socket.io. Raw TCP custom binary protocols. Yes, we will have our own custom protocols for at least the move sending part. The practical answer, since you are learning deeply and want to understand the ground reality. Okay, thanks for assuming that. Use native WebSocket, understand it fully. Okay, we will use native WebSockets. Um, browser MD and docs. Let's go. Shit. Okay, shit. My bad. Camera is there. I have a laptop locked up by a company. How to remove it? Man, I think removing OS won't be enough according to some Reddit threads. Removing let's see. The laptops which are provided by companies, do they have hardware level restrictions, or just removing the OS would be enough to remove everything that is put on the laptop by the company?
It's a bit of a mixed bag. Most of the time, the company just uses software level restrictions, things like BIOS, UEFI settings, remote management tools, or MDM, mobile device management. So if you wipe the OS, you probably do get rid of most of the company bloat. But crucially, some firmware level stuff might still be lurking. Things like firmware locks or TPM, Trusted Platform Module, can enforce policies even outside the OS. So yes, it's more than just a simple format and reinstall. Always check the firmware layer if you want a clean slate.
I guess you can just, oh, I mean, like MDM, not MDM. Chat GPT won't answer. It would answer. It might answer wrong. Mobile device management. Yeah. Security software used by IT companies to monitor. I have the government tablet given to me by my college, and in that there was no. I don't think the restriction was too deep level. I removed the like security feature by watching some videos on the YouTube. You should be able to do it. Just wipe out the OS. I think that should be enough. Okay, the WebSocket API sockets. WebSocket makes it possible to open a two-way interactive communications session between browsers and a server. With this API, you can send message to a server and receive responses without having to poll the server. Yep. How do I work this out? Interface. WebSocket is the primary interface for connecting to a WebSocket server and then sending and receiving data on the connection. Can I make something happen? Tests. Time logic. Shit. WebSocket. Okay, cool. WS local host 8080. I think the server is running at 8080. Nope, it is not. It is running at 2222. And shit, okay. Okay, 2222. And how do we give more information other than this? How do we set parameters and everything? No, not parameters, but headers. uh, Connect to a web socket server from one using web socket native API. I also want to put some headers there. Straight to it, and when you can use the native web socket, but there is an important detail. Okay, okay, just headers. And what is the URL? The URL is localhost 2000 WS. Headers, and the headers are these bulk edit. Is that not okay? Okay, that should be enough. On open, what does it want? It wants a function on open. Shit, we can just say equal to a function. We don't have to give it a function. We have to make its value equal to a function. Okay. Connection made. And how do we send on message, on close, on error? How do I send a message? Simple, brutal, simple. If you are dot send, um, just okay. Let's see if this works. Socket dot on close equals function connection closed. Okay, connection closed, and this should work. Hopefully. I don't think I have a key map to run the current bun file. I do not have a I do have a key map for running the server, but I do not have a key map to run the current bun file, which is very sad. Okay, shit, yes. I do not have such a key map. Okay. There is a key map for Swift. Ray, what is Ray? Ray. Okay, shit, Ray is something else. For Raylib. There is a key map for LSPs, Swift, Zig, Ruby, Lua, but not for TypeScript using bun. space 1 and when run the current file, split the terminal to run the current ts or js file in a temporary buffer. Go back, go back, go back. Server, run back, okay. And here, source common tests time logic and space 1 and the valid is the object is an invalid state. We didn't receive anything here. Okay, what is invalid? Can we not run this thing on one? Use this new socket on the back end using one. Can I not use this? Hello. Wait. Do you know John Kiraku? Shit, I don't know. It's install Linux, like no doubt. Install Linux. What? There is no other choice. There is just one choice. You are free to choose whatever, but the choice is Linux. Bro, parents pressuring me to go to college. What should I do? I mean, go shit. You can say no. I will not go to college because I study at home. So you should study at home. But yeah, for that you will have to study on at home. And who is this person? The first US government official to confirm in December 2007 that waterboarding was used to torture Al Qaeda prisoners. Okay, John Kira. I don't know why, but I think I've heard this. His name. Shit, yes, I have heard his name. I have. Yes, shit, yes, yes, shit, yes, yes, yes. I have seen this guy at some point somewhere. It is not necessary that they can have low level control over your laptop. They can lock down the BIOS and you won't be able to do shit. Is it wrong? Yeah, but can we do anything? Not much shit. I mean, if it is software level, okay, interesting. If he is not lying, he's a CIA officer, we can trust him, I think. If it is a software level, then removing the existing things would help, but a BIOS level vendor lock in would mean that you would step very deeply into that shit. That would be difficult to get out of. This is valid. This is not valid. Wait, then what is valid? This is valid. So what is wrong here? Headers and everything on open console.log, send hello server on message equals to something on close send for send we just do send and the message on close on error console.log or maybe got error. The object is invalid. DOM exception. Source URL was this. Code invalid. The object is an invalid state. What does that mean? String. What is the invalid part? Source common. Let's bun, run. Shit. This is cool. Who is showing me this? I pressed tab. Okay, bun is cool. Bun is cool. Bun is showing me all of these suggestions. That is cool. That is very cool. Timelogic.ts, and yes, we are getting an error. We are not getting anything here on the server. The object is in an invalid state. Which object? Timelogic.ts. If we remove the headers, shit, it might be. Now await has no effect on this kind of thing. Okay, how do we start the connection? Do we have to like start the connection? And how does await not work with this? Okay. When I call the new WebSocket class with the correct URL, does it establish the connection and then return a WebSocket through which I can communicate to the backend? Or does it just create an object, a socket object, and then I have to do something to start the connection? When does the connection happen?
Good clarification. The connection doesn't happen instantly at the moment you call new WebSocket. Instead, it kicks off the process. The object you get folder is in a connecting state. The actual WebSocket handshake happens asynchronously behind the scenes. Once the connection is successfully established, the WebSocket will emit an on-open event. After that, you can start sending and receiving messages. In short, the connection begins when you instantiate it, but you wait for the on-open before you start communicating.
Makes sense. I guess we were getting error because of send socket.send. Okay, got an error, connection closed, and on the back end we don't see anything. Okay, because stuff is expected here, I think. Okay, bun and connection made. Connection was made. That is pretty cool. User game Toki wants to play a game. Okay, shit. Yes, cool. We are able to make a connection from here. That is very cool. User Gintoki has closed its connection. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to establish a game Gintoki through the sockets. Const Kakashi is the other user. No, just shit. Okay, my bad. Kakashi new web socket, the same URL ws. Okay, no auto suggestion here. Okay, localhost 2222/p/right. And I would also like to give some headers, and the headers would be these. Well, get it? Shit. Cool. Postman, and the headers for Kakashi are cool. Now these two players should be able to play with each other. Gintoki dot on open would be equal to console.log connection made by Gintoki, and here substitute Gintoki with Kashi, connection made by both, and Gintoki dot on message. We would like to print that message. Console.log and message. And the message should be that you can play a game now. Kakashi dot on message. Okay, the backend is running. We should be able to start a game. Yes, game message is start true, cool. And on here, yes, starting a game between Gintoki and Kakashi, cool. So yes, cool. So you are sleepy. You know, ask ChatGPT to come up with the a program to remove BIOS level control. Shit, you are slurring your words. I think you should sleep now. Take a nice sleep. And yes, I think you are in a state where coffee cannot help you. So just sleep for a while. It would be fine. You can wake up in the evening. Okay, you can wake up in the evening, and that would be cool. Okay. What we want to do now is, yeah, just make this on message function a bit more complex. Okay, the first message we will like always ignore. Yep, let first Gintoki equals false and first Kakashi equals false, and if first, right, this should be like true, and if first, then console.log message and make it false. Shit. And here if first Kakashi console.log message and make it false, else else we have to see shit, the format in which we got this was crazy. Like this, look at this. So we have to parse this format: message type message, message type message, message type is message, message type is message, message type is message. Okay, message type is message. Message type is message. Which is crazy. Here we are sending the message here at when wait shit when are we sending the message? Mm, we should be sending a message around, yes, like legit we are sending a message. Tell them that it is their chance to play. How do we give in more information here? Dot send along with send. How do we give more information? Send this true. What is the method? Okay, first thing has to be data, and second has to be compressed. Okay, then the question would be in WebSocket, when we are sending a message, we can also give it a type so that we can differentiate between different types of WebSocket messages. How do I give in a type when I am using Elysia WebSockets on the backend with Bun?
Great question. So with Elysia's WebSockets, there's no built-in concept of types like some frameworks might have. Instead, you handle that yourself at the application level. The easiest approach is to just send a JSON object where one of the fields is a type key. For example, on the client or backend, you might send web senders into chat messages or projected. Then on the server side, when you get the message, you pass it and check the type. WebSocket on messages might say I'm J I if its type is yeah. Then I'll process it in order. In
That
short, you just design your own process.
makes that makes sense. So stringify on the backend and send the stringify thing. Stringify and let's see what we get now. Should not, no, still we are getting something like this. If we d string, wait, why are we getting three thing? Why did we get three things? Connection made by both and message, message, message. Color. Okay, these two messages were printed by zero. Who is zero means black, and who is playing as black? Black is Kakashi. Kakashi is printing two things. Kakashi is printing two things. This thing and okay, this is just there by default. Okay. If we json dot parse this any type m dot data and do the same thing here one and okay, cool, we are able to parse this. We are able to parse this. Okay, so we are able to establish a connection. Okay, after this white, we have to check who is white. Let white equals um true. Let's just assume for here Gintoki is white, or but Gintoki is more like silver, but okay, and Kakashi is black. Now here parsed would be json dot parse and dot data, put in parse here, same thing here. Okay, and if parsed, okay, we also have to tell the interface not move but start. Let's say interface of the start type is something like shit, only this thing is here. That is crazy. Backend APIs game start. The interface is like this: start and color, two things. Start and color. Color is color type and start is start. Okay. So interface is shit. Start. Laptop is nothing. There was a laptop in the background. Just saying. And color, which is of type color inner class. Okay, and parse this as star because this is the legit first message, so we can do this. Now if parsed dot color equals, let's import this color as colors. Makes more sense that way, so we can differentiate when we are using the enum and when we are using the value from that enum. if color is colors dot white, wait, colors cannot be used as a value because it is imported as import type. Okay. Else true, no, if colors is black, then change white to be false. Right, 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 right. And also start, let start equals 0. And when start equals 2 means game started. Whenever we get this message here, we'll do start plus plus. And here also we'll do start plus plus. And these on message blocks will handle only the moves which have been sent to them. And here we will have a while loop. While, yes. Or we can have a like a really nice for loop for this while thing. For like this. This is a like infinite while loop. It is very cool. Shit. Yes, I did read about the wooden project, by the way. You know, the first ever thing transferred over the internet was the message hello. It's because they were trying to send login. London 10 p.m. IIRC. Okay, shit, laptop is running. The whole message was login, but it cut off at G. Shit. So they sent a low message. This contains a built-in screen reader called VoiceOver. How to use VoiceOver. Press Command F5 now to turn it on and set up your Mac. Cool. Yes, if start equals to, that means the game has started and should, okay, how does this bro know? If white, then Gintogi will send the first move, else this will send the second move. Okay, that is cool, that is cool. And we don't just want to do this. Right, how do we simulate the game project? Let's say const game equals a set of strings e2, e4, and the second, let's go for the like fool's mate. That would be f2 to f3, black moves e7 to e5, then white moves g2 to g4, and yep, that is it. So white has to make the first move, then let's say 1 second delay if start equals this, then for move of game, let move of game, uh, if wide, if wide, then Gintoki. Shit, Gintoki looks better than white. Substitute white with Gintoki everywhere. Okay. If Gintoki, then Gintoki makes the move. Otherwise, Kakashi makes the move, and then we will sleep. Shit. Okay. Wait, new promise. Create a new promise. And this promise resolves after a 1 second delay. Okay, that is like so much cool. Really, really cool. Okay, on message, if first Gintoki, then Kakashi first message. Otherwise, if it is not the first message or whatever is the message, we would like to print the message also. Okay. Yes, I think that should be cool. That should be cool. That should be cool. And if we run this, game is okay. Game ended. That is pretty something. Why are we not printing anything here? We are not printing anything on open connection because of this. Why are we not printing anything? Console.log. Hi. Hi. So the loop is running. Cool. Start equals 2, and it seems like start is never equal to 2. Start is never equal to okay, console.log. Print start 1. Start is always equal to 0. Why is start not updating? Why is start not? Because we have to update shading on open start plus plus. And start is defined later and used earlier somehow. Okay. And remove start. Remove start. We don't need these. We don't. We do need this. Button and okay, is shit. Start is still not updating. Yes, that makes sense because we never saw this thing. And hello, Guernsey in 2005. Shit, you are 21 years old now. Happy 21 anniversary on Earth. Wait. Mm, First Gintoki. Wait, I have to go like outside for 1 minute and I will be right back. Just 1 minute. And I am back with my face. Cool. Okay, why is this not working? And this is a cool thing that this is not working because this will teach us something cool about JavaScript, about how JavaScript functions like internally. So the problem to me, it seems like, is that we are running this loop, and since the main JavaScript thread always has something to run, which is this thing, it is not taking up stuff which is being put onto the event call loop stack from by this async function, I think. Yeah, I think that might be it. In my bun backend, I am using WebSocket library to establish a connection. And after doing new WebSocket and also providing the on message and on open function, I am running an infinite for loop and it keeps on running. And that is stopping the on message or on open function from running. And I think what is happening is that since there is always something to be run by the main thread because of the infinite for loop, it is not picking up the stuff which is put onto the stack by the on open function. Is that correct?
Yep, you're exactly right. The problem is that your main thread is stuck in that infinite loop, so it never gets a chance to process any of the asynchronous events like your on open or on message. In a typical event driven system, you want to let the event loop do its thing. So get rid of the infinite loop and rely on asynchronous callbacks to handle the WebSocket events. Once the connection's open, the event loop will naturally wake up and run your on message or on open code whenever those events occur. In short, ditch the busy loop. Let the event driven model do its job, and everything will flow smoothly.
What I want to do is there are two WebSockets, and those two WebSockets, when they receive some very specific message, then I want to iterate between sending message from one WebSocket and the other. I want to quickly switch, and for that, when those messages are received by those WebSockets in the on open function, there is a variable called start which is updated incremented by 2, and the infinite for loop keeps checking that variable's value, and when it gets up to 2, then I start to alternate between the WebSockets with a simple await promise for set timeout for 1 second. And yes, after that it should ideally run fine, like should help me.
You're on the right track, but let's be practical about it. Even though you can use an infinite loop, the danger is that you'll still block the main thread, even with a timeout. Instead, a better approach is to avoid the infinite loop entirely and rely on event driven logic. For example, each time you get a specific message, you can trigger a function that awaits a small timeout, then switches which WebSocket you send the message to. That way,
Use the event driven logic. We have the game here. What we want is we just want to make this game run. Kakashi and Gintoki. Okay. On open, increment this variable, right? And when a message is received, when a message is received, okay, we will also have a move number thing. Let move number will initially be this, and let Gintoki equals true initially if Gintoki is white, but if Gintoki is not white, then yes, if first Gintoki, if this is the first message that has been received, then check the color. If the color is black, then first Gintoki would be false. Right. Move number, first Gintoki, first message, Kakashi equals true. And if first Kakashi, what is it? No, if first Kakashi, then first Kakashi equals false, because we do not want anything to do with the first thing. Now, the backend will give both of these users the backend will give both of these users, and the backend will tell the users what to do. Okay, on the first thing, make this false, and if color is black, then make Gintoki equals false. Yes, because it is Kakashi who will move. And here it, and let's parse this thing as start, and if not start, but if parsed dot color equals colors dot white. If the color of this thing is white, then Kashi dot send the message would be game bracket. Argument of type is string. This will be a string. Undefined move, cannot find game move number is the thing. As a string, or better thing would be move number if that is smaller than equal to game dot length, then not equal to smaller than game dot length, then we will send game move number incremented by one, and otherwise this. Argument of type is string undefined. Why would this ever be undefined? If move number is smaller than move length, okay, it might be negative, maybe, and move number greater than equal to 8. Okay, shit. Maybe scope is not proper. Scope is proper. Argument of type is string undefined. Why is this undefined? Wait a minute. Why is this? Why? Copy this. Why is the return type of this? Shit, I think it is because I don't know. I think, okay, I don't know. Why is the return type of this string undefined even when I am checking the length beforehand? Because maybe the move number thing changes. Your expression is this and the type result is this, you are thinking, but I already checked. Yes, that is what I'm thinking. The real reason is an array indexing is typed as this. When you access this, the type is t or undefined. Why? Because JavaScript allows this. Array a equals this, 100 equals undefined. So TypeScript models array access as potentially unsafe. Potentially unsafe. TypeScript does not refine the index type based on length checks. So I guess we will have to use game move number as string, and also like increase the move number and make ginto key equals true. Okay, that is for the first move. Here also, if it is not ginto key, then yes, and ginto key equals false. Yeah, ginto key false for the first move. First ginto key false. Okay, else if not the first move, else whenever a message is received, we will respond exactly at the same time. If it is Gintoki who is if Gintoki, then nothing. If not Gintoki, if not Gintoki, then Kakashi dot send the move as this and make Gintoki equals true. And here if Gintoki, then send the move and make Gintoki equals false. Let's check. Game is stored on database. Cool. Shit, we were able to play the whole game. Okay, shit. Okay, cool. We were able to play the whole game, and time, because of the okay, because there Error true. Okay, at some point there was even also an error. I guess because we also have to check move number. Okay, we are in the wrong file. We Yes, now we are in the right file. We also have to check move number if Kinto key, and move number is smaller than game dot length, and here if not Gintoki and move number is smaller than game dot length. Cool. Only then. Otherwise, like, yeah, don't do shit. One and okay, this time we didn't get any error. You will lose is a message which is sent by default. Cool. Cool. Okay, let's check the timing stuff. Yep, let's check the timing stuff. But before checking the timing stuff, game.ts here, update game object timing. Yes, default. We will not add a default time here for now. For now, we are not adding a default time. Yep. Do you really want to save it? And the file has been changed since reading it. No. Time logic. Yep, get the latest file right here. Okay. Before sending, always await new promise resolve set. I want to like write this on my own. Call resolve after 1 second. 1000 millisecond. Await does not work here, but now it does. And same thing on here. 1 second delay. Here also 1 second delay. Here also 1 second delay, and here also 1 second delay. And run the backend. Time logic and cool. Cool. We are making moves. We are making moves. Cool. Okay, do not always print this thing. Yes. We will, yeah. 1000 millisecond delay. Okay, let's see. So first move was sent after about 1000 milliseconds. Okay, it seems like time is updating correctly. There is a like a slight hundreds of millisecond of difference, but apart from that, yeah, time seems to be okay. Time is also being handled. Okay, so now we have to work on the front end. We can legit start working on the front end. But also like, yeah, I will start working on the front end maybe tomorrow. I got some like stuff to do today. So for today, this would be it. We have completed the minimal working version of the backend. We are able to play games. Let's play one more game. Game logic. Let's write a function that run game that takes in a game which is string array and does this whole charade. Duplicate found. No. Right. Start equals true, and do not print this thing like every single time. Just parse as a start. No, other times do not parse this as a start. At other times do not parse this as a start. Okay, if first move and do not print for the first move, but here, yeah, there's a dot log parse it. If it was the move that you just made, then print. Yes, print. Export, run game, and in index.ts. We don't need run game. This thing just takes in a game. This is not how we show our moves. Let's play a whole actual game, and we can even give time equals number, or not time, let's call it delay number, and every time substitute 1000 with not time but delay. Here after this we will also give delay, let's say it is 500 milliseconds. Okay, let's play a whole actual game on chess.com. And yep, and I would also like to make some changes on the back end. Console.log, that is fine. Okay, this is the only thing that is being console.logged. Here, backend APIs. Here, this is starting a game. User wants move validated, move sent, move was validated. Game over. And the question would be all of this. Okay, cool. This much is fine. This much stuff is fine. We can see the whole gaming here. 1 second delay. Okay. I will now play a 1 minute game and we will recreate the whole game on the thing, like on my website. Let's start. 5 minute game. Cool. Cool. Yep. Takes otherwise comes here. Where do I go? Here, then just like problem and problem. So takes would mean takes would mean takes would mean takes would mean nothing, would mean attack, or this is another viable choice, or this shit no shit, this does not actually do this shit. This does not do shit. Okay, that is actually a bit horrible. And okay, yes, I do not know how to play chess. No, this is hanging. This is hanging like twice. And what do I have? Nothing. Bro will probably take this. Yes. With a check. Shit. Cool. Takes. I don't have anything. What? I can attack this, but shit, this is saved. because of that. Okay, I can give a check. Probably will be blocked by the queen or maybe even by the bishop. Nope, not by the bishop, by the queen. And then, and then I don't really have anything. But anyway, I cannot do this because of this. Yes, and I'm playing this game so that I can recreate the whole game here. Okay, that is one thing you could have done. Cool. Now this is pinned, and this will be taken like no matter what. And bro is from Bosnia. Cool, let's go. Takes, attacking position. Okay, shit. If he does not notice, then he is messed up, and he did notice, so that is fine. I can attack. If he goes out of this file, out of this pawn's range or stuff or whatever. Okay, GG. Wait, shit, no, kind of. Shit, I think I won. I think I won. Cool. Just check me those kids. Okay, cool. Checkmate. So this is the game that we will like replay there. Okay, what happened? E2, E4. How do I flip the board? That would be helpful. Self-analysis, yes, self-analysis is what is needed. And okay, for the one viewer person who is watching, what I'm trying to do now is I just played a game and I want to replay the whole game on my backend. Right, this is a little interface function I have written to play a game. Const foods made, let's say foods made is equal to e2, not e2, f2 to f3. Then the black player moves e7 to e5, and then g2 to g4, and then this is foods made. And if I were to run this, we will see this game. Foods made. Okay, cool. One run test. Shit, one run back, run the backend, and one run test. Okay, here this move was made, then this move made, this move, and then fools made. Game over. Game is stored on the database. Cool. So this is working. Let's play this whole game. This was d2 to d4, d4, d5. That is it for my memory. Test game 2. D2, D4, D7, D5, and then it is yes, E2, E3, E2, E3, and knight G8, F6, E, E2, E3, and knight G8 to F6. Cool. G1 to F3. Wait, I think I can bring them together, which would be much better and faster. Hello, my teacher just called me. This is so annoying. Okay, your teacher is calling me. She says she needs me in class from Monday, or she'll talk to my parents. I mean, doesn't she have other friends to talk to? Uh, like, if your parents are on your side, which does not seem like the case with you, it would have been cool, but they are not, I think. And I don't know, like just be rebellious and do not go to college. Like yes, that is what I would have done. Guess the game two, and you are actually in trouble. I don't know. You are in trouble. G8, and this was G1 to F3. Then black played C, B8, B8 to C6. Uh, yes, knight C6. Then bishop F, F, shit, bishop went to F5. Bishop went to, but before bishop, yes, no, bishop F5. How do I flip this board? Flip. Yes, now this is much better. Okay, then it is that bishop went to F5. Bishop went to F5. Whose bishop? My bishop. Bishop was at C8. C8 to F5. Okay, and after bishop F5, it was bishop D3. Bishop D3, F1 D3. Okay, and bishop D3, bishop takes D3. So bishop F5, F5 takes D3. Cool. F5 takes D3 and C takes D3. C takes D3 makes sense. So C2 to D3. Cool. It was a pawn move, and after that, C2, C takes D3, E3, E3 was E6 was the move. E6 was E6 was the move by black. E6 was the move by black. So E7 to E6 was the move by black. Okay. After E6, this is very painful. This is very slow writing this, but okay. We are like on the sixth move, just on the sixth move. That is very slow. Let's combine these. Okay, what was the move? Black's move after C E6. Wait, E6 was black's move. E6 was, how can the sec an odd move be black's? D2 D4 is black. Then white. Did I skip a move? E3 F6 F3 C6 C3 F3 C6 F3 here F3 C6. Then there was C3. I skipped C3 and went to F5. Okay, shit. There was another move, it seems. F3 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 knight F3. Knight went to F3 from, wait, knight went to F3. Yes, knight went to F3. Whose knight? White's knight went to F3. How did it go to F3? From G1. Okay. G1, F3. Okay. Now. Okay. Hello. No, my teachers do not call me. They send letters from college. But yeah, I just like take them before my parents can take them. So that is cool. E7 to E6. E7 to E6. E7 to E6. Then E4. There should be a faster way to do this. There is. Okay. I think I can do this. White moved, then black moved. And now here, this was a move from E3 to E4 by white. And then black moved from F8 to D6. F8, D6. And then shit. Then E4 to E5. E4, E5. E4, E5. C6. C6, E5. E4, E5. C6, C6, E5. Cool. And then the two moves D4, D4, E6, D4, E6, D4, E5, D4, E5, and D5, E4. D4, E5, D5, E4. D4, D5, E4, D5, and D5, D4. C3, B5, C3, B5, F6, G4, C3, B5, F6, G4. Cool. B5, D6, B5, D6, and then the pawn movement. B5, D6, and then the pawn from C7, C7 to D6. Okay, pawn. Pawn E5 to D6. Then queen moved from D8 to D6. Also, right? This is very slow. But this one, okay, I mean, I can go in morning, attend 3 classes, and 3 times in a week, I guess, and not go rest of the day. But this one, like, this is annoying, and you can do this. Yes. Like, yes, okay, show up your face, I guess. That would be cool. Fine. F3, G, F3, G, 5, F3, G5, F3, G5, and then queen moved from D6 to E5, and then knight G5 to E4, G5 to E4. We are almost there with the game, and then pawn moved. The F pawn moved. F7 to F5, and then castle. Shit. There was mate in one. So there was mate in one at this point. Okay, black could do. Yes, there was a mate in one. Shit. So castle, and then this. Castle is represented by the king's movement, so that would be E1 to G1, and the pawn moved from F5 to E4. F5 to E4. Again, shit. Okay, that was just like sitting there, and the checkmate. Okay, D3 to E4, D3, E4, and queen moves from E5 to e5 to e4. Yes, good enough. And we are almost at the end. Rook moves. Okay, rook moves from f1 to e1, and queen moves from e4 to f5, right? And queen takes d1, d4, and rook moves d1, d4, and rook moves from a8, d8, queen takes, checkmate. Cool, we are at the last move finally. Okay, so queen took where what? Queen was at d4, so d4 to g7 summit, and the final move f5 to f2. That should be it. That should legit be it. Okay, okay. That should be it. That should be it. Cool. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Hello, ChatGPT, BIOS. And do you want to brick your laptop? Where I asked it to do a simple refactoring, and I had to spend 2 extra days correcting that refactor. Shit, it can, yeah, mess you up. Okay, time for the truth. Time for the truth. How many moves is this? This is about 19 moves. 19 moves with 1 second delay. This should take 38 seconds for the whole game to play. One run test. Okay, pawn moves, other pawn moves. Okay, this, then knight, then this moves. Okay, shit. Okay, shit. Someone sent in a wrong move. Okay, it got messed up. G1 to f3 is a wrong move. At this board, they are saying G1 to f3. G1 to f3 is a wrong move, which is correct because there is nothing at g1. Shit. This came at this position. Wait. Yes, let switch the word. I think I told you didn't. Wait a minute. There is someone at the door. Wait. And I am back, and I am extremely sorry. Okay, that took a while. Okay, but I'm back right now. Okay, I think I told you when I did refactoring, all I want to focus right now is on Odin project and the C++ beginner guide. That is it. So, yes, like lock yourself in a room and do whatever you want. And here was a false move at some point. The move G1 to F3, which is false, error, false. Okay. G1 F3 was made, then B8 C6 was the last legit move, it seems. B1, you know what? Okay, okay, shit, what is this? Shit. Okay, I discovered something. This is okay. Look at this. What is happening? Vim exclude keys, exclude all the keys, save changes. Okay. What are other things I can do? Okay, X for flipping, X for flipping. Okay, X for flipping. There was like a throw thing also. Throw, throw all these things. Throw all of these pieces. Shit, that is very cool. Okay, now back to the game. The last valid move was B8 C6. B8 C6, this one. After B8 C6, the next move was B1 C3. B8 C6. The next one was okay. B1 C3. I think that should be now cool. Run test. Backend is off. Shit. Run the backend. Run test. And okay. Moves are being made. Game is playing itself out. Cool. Okay. Okay. There was a little problem, but it seems okay. Someone again wants to make a invalid move. And also there was some other disturbance in the middle after. Okay, here everything was cool. Move updated. Okay, no shit, everything was fine except the next bad move is this one, E4. Error false. The last valid move was C6 E5. C6 E5. C6 to E5. C6 E5. There was never a move C6 E5. C6 E5. C6 C6 E5. There was never a C6 E5. Okay, before that it was Or we can look at the position. What was the last position? Last position was this. Last position was this. Before that, a knight move. This was the last position, it seems. Yep, after this, the move was d4 to e5. d4 to e5. After this, knight move. And the knight move was... Why is this so slow? Come on, this is like very slow. CPU is fine. Its frames were dropped. That is fine. E6, c6, e5. Shit, I think I wrote it. c6. Where is c6? That was black. Okay. Must be here. c6, e5. Yes, that is correct. c6, e5. Then e4, d5. Okay, I messed up the next move. I said the next move is e4, d5, even though there is no pawn there. It is instead d4, e5, d4, e5, a, and then d5, e4, d5, e, d5, d4, d5, d4. Cool. This should be okay now. Run the backend, run test, and cool. Game is playing. This is actually going pretty cool. Okay, invalid move again was made. The last good position was this. When this knight was took, a knight here was took, taken. This was the last valid position. Yep. And the next move was a white move, which was e5, d6. e5, d6. e5, d6. Shit. Somehow the pawn moved diagonally, horizontally. e5, d6. Okay. Run and test. And okay, cool. Game is playing itself out. Cool. Game is stored. Okay, game ended. Why did the game end after this point? That does not make sense. Okay, okay, yes, something messed up happened after E1, G1. E1, G1. E1, G1. Okay, castle. This was castle. Yes, and this was castle. After castle, there was F5, E4. F5, F5, E4. f5 e4, f5 e4. After castle f5 e4, yes, this thing took place and game ended somehow. Game ended somehow. Okay, so there is some problem with the backend. Hello. Super stressed out because of this call. Bro, like do some meditation, you will be fine. Uh, he doesn't want to go to college. His teachers want him in college. He does not want to go there. He wants to focus only on Odin project and C++ beginner guide. But the college is in the way. Help him somehow. And shit. After this move, they said that the game is over now somehow. How? And who won? The player who won was shit. Who is this player? Who is this player? I don't know. Time logic. Console.log parsed. Console.log. Kakashi. Wait. Yes, Kakashi. Move number plus one. And here also end in 2 Okay. Shit. Who won the game? One run test. Start the test. Game is going on. Cool. Okay, game ended after this. Why? Who made the last move? It was Gintoki. Gintoki won the game. Somehow Gintoki won the game. You won. Gintoki won the game. Somehow. Uh, it would be hardly 6 to 7. Hardly. No, like that is quite a bit of chunk of time. If one sleeps for 6 hours, you would still be left with 10 hours to learn. Like somehow it takes away all the energy. College takes away the energy. If you don't want to, then instead of going regularly, go at least once a week. Yep, once a week might not be like, yeah, once a week might not even change anything from college's perspective. At least your parents would be satisfied that you are going to college. Like this thing you have to like figure out. I didn't go to college and their threats didn't were not able to do anything. So that was cool. And shit, somehow the game is ending after this move. Like why? And this is going slow. Okay, shit. For today, I guess this would be it. Yep, for today, this would be it. There is some problem with this. Game is ending after this black player's moves. And tomorrow we can start working on the front end, which is pretty cool. Sick, very sick. Tomorrow we can start working on the front end. And for today, that would be it. And thank you for being here. Bye.